Hello, this is Dr. Annette Moultrie. We will discuss Chapter 2 from the book entitled Core Concepts of Accounting Information Systems, 13th edition. The authors are Mark Simkin, Jacob Rose, Carolyn Norman, and the publisher is Wiley & Sons. So Chapter 2 deals with the accounting on the internet. Now, after this presentation of Chapter 2, you will understand some of the basic concepts of the internet, such as TCP, IP, URLs, and web page addresses. You'll also be able to appreciate why electronic communication and social media are important to accountants, know why XBRL is important to financial reporting, understand electronic data interchange, and why is it important to the accounting information systems. Also, you'll be able to understand some examples of cloud computing, know the differences between what is exactly is business to consumer and business to business e-commerce. You will be able to distinguish the differences between those. Also, you'll be able to appreciate the privacy and security issues associated with e-commerce. Also in Chapter 2, you will have an understanding why businesses use firewalls, why they use proxy servers and encryption techniques. And also in Chapter 2, you will have an understanding of the digital signatures and digital time stamping techniques. Now, we know that most accountants use the internet for research. They also use it for education and email on a daily basis. Auditors regularly evaluate their clients' internal controls to ensure complete, accurate, and authentic transmissions of transactions over the internet. In fact, it is nearly impossible to imagine how accountants would accomplish their various job responsibilities without the many internet technologies that support today's businesses. And we know now, because of the situation around the world, people are using the internet more often than ever before. As a matter of fact, there are some that are using the internet, using the technology for the very first time. Now, Chapter 2 describes some accounting applications of the internet in detail. The first section describes the internet components such as internet addresses and software. This section also discusses some internet concepts of special importance to accountants. XBRL will be discussed in Chapter 2, and Chapter 2 also will discuss internet basics, including internet addresses and software, the intranet and extranet. Of course, we'll get into the World Wide Web, IDEA, Groupware. What exactly is Groupware? We will discuss electronic conferencing, which is very popular today, and weblogs. Now, one of the most important uses of the internet is for electronic commerce, e-commerce, which is the topic of the next section of this chapter. Now, while the terms e-commerce and e-business are often used interchangeably, some experts prefer to view them as different concepts. The internet is a collection of local and wide area networks that are connected together via the internet backbone, which is, for example, the main electronic connection of the system. Describing the internet as an information superhighway makes sense because over 3 billion people from around the world now use it just as a set of state, interstate, and international highways connect people physically. So in Chapter 2, we will discuss, again, the internet addresses and software, intranet and extranets, the World Wide Web, HTML and IDEA. We'll discuss Groupware. What exactly is Groupware? Electronic conferencing, which is very, very, very popular today, and blogs. An internet address begins as a domain address, which is also called a uniform resource locator, same as URL. For example, www.facebook.com. Now the W indicates the World Wide Web. Facebook is the site or the company's name, and .com is the organization code. Some examples of our organization codes are, for example, edu. We have .gov, .org. The internet address could also include a county code as well, or a country code, I should say. For example, UK for United Kingdom. For transmission purposes, internet computers use table domain names that translate a text-based domain address such as www.wiley.com into numeric internet protocol, or what we call IP address. Now the IPv4 is version 4 of the standard and uses 32 bits for this. Here you see an example, 207.142.131.248. The Internet Corporation for Assigned Names and Numbers, ICANN, they maintain the original registry of domain names. They manage the domain name system to ensure that all IP addresses are unique, and they make sure that each domain name maps to its correct IP address. The IP address enables internet computers to deliver a specific message to a specific computer at a specific computer site. For example, when you send an email address to a friend at another university using the standard transmission control protocol / the internet protocol, the IP address are useful to auditors because they identify the sender, which is an important control in e-commerce applications. So just for your information, your personal computer will have its own IP address. Because internet software is so convenient to use, many companies also create their own intranets for internal communications purposes. These computer networks use the same software as the internet, but are internal to the organization that created them. One common use of the internet is to allow users to access one or more internal database. The extranets enable selected outside users to access corporate intranets. Users connect to internal web servers via the internet itself using their assigned passwords. The user can be around the corner or around the world. The multimedia portion of the internet is commonly called, again, the World Wide Web or just the web. So, of course, you know that www in front of The URL stands for World Wide Web. Developers typically create web pages in an editing language such as hypertext markup language, which is the HTML. Now, web designers store these instructions in one or more files and use the internet to transfer these pages from a source computer to a recipient computer using a communication protocol such as Hypertext Transfer Protocol, or the HTTP. Then your web browser deciphers the editing language and displays the text, graphics, and other items of a web page on your screen. Here's an example of an HTML code. Now, because HTML is an editing language, many of its instructions are simply pairs of tags that instruct a web browser how to display the information bracketed by these tags. Again, you're looking at an example of an HTML code and how it is actually displayed in your web browser. Here you see is how the HTML code is displayed in a browser. Now we're going to be discussing Groupware, electronic conferencing, and blogs. Groupware allows users to send and receive email. Also, they perform a wide range of other document editing tasks. Groupware allow users to collaborate on work tasks. They allow the users to make revisions to the same document, schedule appointments on each other's calendars, they share files and databases, they conduct electronic meetings, and develop custom applications. Some examples of these softwares are Exchange, which is by Microsoft, GroupWise, Novell, Lotus Notes. We have Google with the G Apps and G Drive, and we also have Outlook, and that's what we're using here, which is a Microsoft product. Instant messaging software, it enables remote users to communicate with each other in real time via the internet. So you're probably familiar with the software MSN Messenger, Yahoo Messenger, or even Skype to chat with distant friends. Many of these packages also support audio, video, and electronic conferencing. Large consulting and accounting firms have access to a wealth of information within their organizations. The Groupware is just really a collaboration tool. Groupware is one of the technologies behind knowledge management that many professional service firms use to distribute expertise within the organization. Blogs are collaborative tools that allow users with web browsers and easy-to-use software to publish personalized diaries or similar information online. A number of them are published by accountants. For example, some of these blogs explain general accounting concepts, comment on recent pronouncements in the profession, describe recent accounting frauds, or recount interesting CPA experiences. Now, blogs could include descriptions of clients' best practices. Blogs can include research findings, links to business websites, and customized news. It is a means to create, to share, and of course, leverage knowledge. Presently, more than 1.5 billion people have some type of social media account, such as Facebook, YouTube, Pinterest, Twitter, Instagram. One that is familiar now, very popular, is called TikTok. One use of the social media is to increase organizational recognition. For example, when a company seeks to attract followers on Facebook and increase its customer base, it will use social media. This is also useful to accounting firms seeking new clients. A second use is to evaluate customers' reactions to new goods or services. A third is uses for accounting teams to use social media to communicate with one another on projects at remote sites. Another use is to identify and perhaps manage problems caused by corporate actions that anger consumers before they go viral. So as you see, social media is used by organizations too. They're used by companies. They use social media. Okay, here's a study break one. Now, which of the following is most likely to contain only numbers? A, domain address. B, URL address. C, IP address. D, postal address. Which of the following is most likely to contain only numbers? Is it A, B, C, or D? And the answer is C, IP address. Okay, study break two. Which of the following enables users to view data with a web browser? A, intranet. B, extranet. C, internet. D, all of these. And the answer is all of these. Here we're going to be discussing Here we'll be discussing the XBRL. While the internet supports general financial reporting, exchanging financial information between trading partners often requires more detailed specification. Extendable markup language, or XML, is similar to HTML. It's similar in a way because it uses tags such as, the B and the /B to format data. B stands for bold. But there are two different there are two differences, between HTML and XML. One is that XML tags are extensible, meaning that they allow users to define their own tags, such as sales revenue. Without standardized markers or tags, financial information may not be clear, and users may not be able to extract data from XML files for comparison purposes. XBRL, or Extensible Business Reporting Language, solves this problem by standardizing the tags that describe financial information in documents for both profit and not-for-profit organizations. So in short, XBRL is a specialized subset of XML for reporting financial information. Here's an example of an XBRL code and what the code creates. Here you see the XBRL code. This is the tag we were talking about. And at the bottom, you see how the XBRL code is actually displayed in a web browser. XBRL documents are called XBRL instance documents, and they're called that because they are examples of a class of documents defined by a standard or a specification. Now, the XBRL tags follow conventional HTML and XML coding rules. The XBRL International Consortium creates XBRL standards that anyone can use, and it is license free. In addition, many accounting software packages are now XBRL enabled, meaning that they can insert appropriate XBRL tags automatically in user financial files. Because of its growing importance, some authorities now suggest that an XBRL should become an integral part of the general accounting curriculum. So we're going to see how XBRL affects accountants. And here's a list. Due to corporate scandals, shareholders, analysts, and reporters are demanding more transparent reporting. XBRL allows readers to quickly access the information they need. XBRL permits the automatic and reliable exchange of financial information across all software formats and technologies, including the internet. XBRL does not require a change to existing accounting standards of corporate disclosure policies. XBRL improves access to financial information because data is in a digital reusable form. I'm not going to go through all of them, but here's just a list of how XBRL affects accountants. We'll go into the XBRL financial reporting on the internet. Now, perhaps the most obvious benefits of the XBRL is the ability to transmit financial information in a standard form. Another important advantage of XBRL is that it defines data items uniquely. One repository of such financial information is the SEC, Interactive Data and Electronic Application, which is the IDEA, Interactive Data and Electronic Applications, which agency unveiled. They unveiled that in 2008. It now contains XBRL data for over 10,000 companies. The IDEA is a valuable source of financial information and an important reason why standardized reporting is useful. Another advantage of XBRL is its ability to express such relationships in formulas, okay, thereby making the data self-checking. This is important because organizations often need to transmit financial data to others, and XBRL provides a means of internal control. Another advantage is that XBRL permits the automatic and reliable exchange of financial information across all software platforms and technologies, including the internet. And last but not least is that the benefit of XBRL is that it does not constrain companies to a particular format for their financial reports. The language is flexible and therefore intentionally constructed to support financial reporting by companies in different industries or from different countries. However, there are drawbacks of the XBRL. And again, of course, XBRL has several disadvantages. Perhaps the most important one is the fact that a common reporting language requires its users to learn and conform to the standards of that language. Usually, accountants achieve this task by acquiring the software that can output data in XBRL formats. Another problem with XBRL is that uh, evolving XBRL standards require users to conform to changing specification, which is a drawback. For example, it may require organizations to update their accounting software more often. A third concern is that at the present time, there is no requirement for auditors to provide assurance on the XBRL finding. And finally, the transition to XBRL reporting is not without costs. And then we'll come to a study break. Here's the question. All of the following are markup languages, meaning that it use edit tags, except all of the following are markup languages, except A, HTML, B, Byte, B-Y-T-E, C, XML, or D, XBRL. All of the following are markup languages except A, B, C, or D. And the answer is B, Byte. Study break 4. A document file containing XBRL tag is A, extranet document, B, intranet document, C, instant document, or D, URL. A document filing, a little sleepy. A document file containing XBRL tags is A, B, C, or D. And the answer is C, instance document.